Streaming cyberspace into your place from South Boston Speedway. It's the Virtual Grip Network's 7th round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Whiteriver LLC Super Late Model Series Season 22. Bad habits, bread, a glass ceiling, all things that are better broken. Add to that list the number 03 Super Late Model belonging to James Crocodile Tiernan. 7 times this season, we've seen Tiernan involved in an incident that would end a lesser driver's night, yet alone a chance at a good finish. But the Crocodile refuses to accept his fate, opting instead, by what appears to be sheer force of will, to turn lemons into lemonade. In 6 races, Tiernan has tallied 4 wins and 2 seconds, many of which inside a damaged hot rod. And while a 27-point cushion between Tiernan and Kurt Smith in second, a rules package that does not include fast repairs. If by chance Tiernan's car is somehow damaged to the point of unraceable, Smith will be there to keep the pressure on. Can the glow stick, aka James Tiernan, continue to be better once broken? To find out, pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for some simulated short track action about to stream your way. From Old Dominion, a warm hello and welcome on this Friday night, August 11th, 2023. My once protege, Real World Motorsports commentator DJ Clark joins yours truly, Bill Soups, on high up in the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our words eye view. As always, replay Ryan Senator, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. All right, DJ, like many a iRacer, I cut my oval teeth on Legend's car here at Sobo. How are these far bigger, powerful cars you think they're going to race here?
Well, they're going to race pretty well, Soup. The comparatively low banking around Sobo, though, means that the brake, getting that rotation and getting these cars through the corner is going to be a lot more crucial. Also, as is mitigating that wheel spin coming off of the line. Now, thankfully for the drivers, as you can see on your screen, relatively low track temperature around here, only about 80 degrees ambient temperature, 86 on the track. So overheating those rear tires not going to be nearly as massively as important. But you've still got to be careful for it. You get those up past their operating window, it's going to be very, very difficult to get power down around this circuit.
And of course, tonight's broadcast, the Super Late Model Series, is brought to you by Whiteriver LLC. Founded in 2016, Whiteriver provides global security consulting services to industry, government, and academia. The firm specializes in e-commerce and what we're more concerned about, esports-related security strategies to organizations of all sizes. And DJ, our viewers come in all shapes and sizes, and a lot of them are first-time viewers. So why don't you go ahead and tell them a little bit about tonight's details?
Well, we are working on the 7th of 11 rounds here in the championship and no drop weeks, meaning what you talked a little bit earlier about the ability of drivers to be able to get those cars to the end, absolutely crucial. But it's a 200-lap affair around here, and that means that pit stops will have to be taken into account, not only for fuel, but to change those tires. Now, they do get 3 total sets, including the one that they start on, so that'll change things around a little bit and play into that strategy. In terms of setup, it is all fixed, so everybody's driving the same thing, and we don't do a qualifying session around here. Instead, the grid is set by inverting the top 15 from the previous race.
And quickly, before they do grid up, let's go ahead and talk about the points. You know, with Michael Goodman making his season debut at Nashville, the number of drivers who have raced at least once this season climbs to 30, with 8 racing in all previous 6 events. Despite having a race of damaged cars around often this season, James Tiernan has the fewest incident points of any full-time driver. Kurt Smith has yet to podium or miss the top 10, so he's right there in the middle. Jeffrey Harden takes over sole possession of 3rd place. On the heels of an 8th place finish, Bruce Pearson climbs up 2 spots. After missing a top 10 in the first 2 races, it's been nothing but ever since for John Wilson. A Nashville 7th was Joe Segala's best result this season. Donnie Allen's 77 incident points leads all drivers. Consistency moves Tom Hilbert up a spot. The only driver to best Tiernan this season is J.R. Shepard, and J.R. is here tonight. And a little too much hoos in the booth of late as Matt drops 5 rungs on the ladder. All right, all the business is out of the way except for this final point of order, which will be to run down our starting grid. We'll get it a row at a time. Starting up front on the pole position, he finished 14th last time out. That is Tom Hilbert. He's going to be inside of Matt Shanoski. DJ?
Behind him, it's Team CDR's newcomer John Wilson and Mike Lemieux to his outside of the number 40.
Row 3 is populated by Bruce Pearson on the inside, Joe Segala on the outside.
Jeffrey Harden's going to line up in P7, followed by Herzog Motorsports' own Mark Herzog in 8th.
9th place goes to Michael Spies. 10th place goes to, Michael Goodman. 10th place goes to Steven Spies.
And 11th, it's James Crocodile Tierney, and then J.R. Shepard in 12th place.
In the Baker's Dozen position, it's the familiar number 26 of Donnie Moore. He's going to be flanked by Matt Hoos.
Chris Davis lines up in 15th position with series organizer Lowell Jewell to his outside.
Thank you very much. Miss Lou and Eddie's Pizza of 1977, the lovely Josie Kirkland, is our pace car driver tonight. As always, she does a great job. She's about to pull in right now and turn control of the field over to Tom Hilbert. There she goes. Glad you're with us here tonight. Chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler, Idaho! A great jump from Hilbert. He's safely going to get out in front. The battle is for second. Inside is John Wilson, who has been quick of late, getting in the wall. The Petty Blue Machine of Matt Chanowski. He's going to lose that position to Michael Lemieux, coming into the battle now for third. They come across the line.
They're coming across the line right now, looking down to the inside a little bit. There is the number 40 machine of Lemieux, trying not to get past up on the high side. A little bit of a checkup farther back in the field.
They are really piling up in the back, but they keep going straight. Chanowski doing a good job. Hang on, and now we got a pass for the lead, as Hilbert got room to the outside and left the inside open for John Wilson. Welcome to the front, and Lemieux is going to tuck into second.
Lemieux tucks into second, a good run.
Going around is the 57. He's right in the middle of the track, and they all miss him. Oh, Mark Herzog dodged many a bullet there, DJ.
Many a bullet there, and that's probably going to be no damage on the 57, which is going to be a very lucky break, and crucially not going to lose a lap.
Wow, it is hard to spin, have the car come to a dead stop in the middle of the track on lap number 4 of a bootleg race and not get hit. Look at this. That's Chanowski on the outside, the 07. Not sure who that was on the, that's Chris Davis on the inside. And look at him go high and low, and everybody misses him.
I mean, just a testament to the driving ability here in the series that everyone was that heads up to be able to get around all of that calamity. Maybe a couple of scrapes with that outside wall, but still pretty much able to avoid everything.
I think maybe the car that the 31 of Chanowski got a little bit of the wall and was spinning. He was having a hard time anyway, so I think everyone's going to be able to continue. We'll see if there's any pitters. There are indeed, as Lowell Jewell has come in. Now, this is something interesting, DJ. I want to talk about this a minute. Because they start with a normal-sized tank, a full tank, but it's not filled up all the way, what drivers can do is come in and fill up, and they get a big fuel advantage. This is different compared to like when we do road races where the fuel cell is actually limited in size.
Yeah, exactly. And what it can be here at this point is it can separate out a little bit and give yourself a little bit of breathing room when it comes to that pit stop strategy. It'll give you more time to be able to make a decision farther on in the race, and the more time you have, the better a position you'll be in.
Well, we have two different drivers up front now. This time it's going to be John Wilson and Michael Lemieux. Wilson started on the third position, Lemieux in fourth. They have worked their way around the front row, and now they're up for front. Great jump from Wilson as he's working lap number 8. Now stuck on the top side is Lemieux. Lemieux's trying his very best to get in front of Bruce Pearson in the 22.
Yeah, Pearson going to try to hold on down to that low line. That's where we've seen be successful here at this point. There's a couple of drivers farther back in the field really experimenting with that high line, but keep an eye here on Jeffrey Harden running in the tire tracks of Pearson. He's going to try to go and put the 42 down.
Stuck, and we see that Harden is going to be able to get that spot, and there is room for Lemieux to tuck in there. No, look at the 28 of Michael Goodman is not going to give him room. There is room now. I'll spot for him clear as Michael Pepe Lemieux gets to the inside. Do we have a yellow?
Yes, indeed we do. Sounds like Joe Segala and Steven Spies farther back in the field is the cause here, Sue.
It was right off the restart. It was Spies and Segala on the outside line. And then you see Spies got into him once and then tried to get into him, and then maybe a little bit of impatience there.
Yeah, just a little bit of impatience, unfortunately, here as we watch him dive down into the corner. Little bit of a checkup. I think Spies necessarily didn't recognize just how much forward there Segala was going to pull off of the line a little bit, and just miscommunication there going into the corner.
Light contact for Segala, both in the left rear from Spies and then the right side when he got in the wall. I think Spies is going to come across okay. Let's dial up Steven Spies right now and get his take on that one. Steven is soup here. Got a little close?
Yeah, it appears so. I think, that car can hold on the outside on those first couple of laps, it seems. And I was just pushing it a little harder than Joe was, and I was trying to leave room there. But my fault. We'll see what the review committee says on those.
Well, let's get away from auto racing right now. Let's talk a little bit about your success you had on Sunday as you were the winner of the first ever Skinner Creek Poker Tournament. How'd that go for you?
That went well. Let's hope that the ups and downs at this race are about like the poker table and we can come out on top. But I don't know, a long way to go, small track. So we're going to see what happens here.
All right, well, try not to bluff yourself a position there. Good luck. We'll keep an eye on you.
Soup.
Working lap number 13. The feeder race, DJ. Our producer, Ryan Seneca, got in here early. He was doing some work on that one. They went green flag all the way.
Yeah, it looks like we're not going to quite have the same luck, but as we're back up to green flag now, it looks like Bruce Searson going to hold off top three in single file order. First battle, Goodman and Lemieux back for P4.
Wilson out in front, pulled back the curtain here at VGN. The commentator was still on his replay. That's why he missed the green flag on that one, but DJ didn't want to throw me under the bus. I'll do it to myself. Let's give you the top five. Wilson, Pearson, Harden, Goodman, and Lemieux.
They're going to keep running here at this point as we focus a little bit farther back in the field. That's Matt Hoos there in the number 21. J.R. Shepard trying to make a little bit of a move on Hilbert, working their way along. Looking like the high lane here, not the place to be. All these moves we're seeing down to the inside.
And that is Matt Hoos getting to the inside of the Crocodile, James Tiernan there. And look at this, Tiernan working the outside, and now Shepard back behind him, thinking about getting the outside as well. You heard Spies talk about it, that the outside line might be working, and look at Shepard thinking about powering himself around. Hoos covering the inside like wall-to-wall carpet right now. Not going to let Shepard get underneath.
No, he's certainly not. He does not want any part of that here at this point. But Shepard, as usual, not to be denied here. A little bit of a checkup for Hoos with Tiernan in front of him, just trying to make sure he changes those braking zones based off of what he's seeing. And now here comes Shepard around the outside.
Trying it again. Let's see if there's anybody who might be able to sneak in there. It's the 20 of Lowell Jewell with the opportunity to vulture a position if Shepard cannot make it work. There's plenty of room, though, for Shepard to try this and still get back in the line. Look at the drive down into one now. Coming out of two, they are side-by-side. Cialis bathtubs down the back straight. Let's see what kind of power the 98 can do around the top side. Boy, I think he had room. Maybe he got a little bit of his line cut off from the three. They almost make contact. Hoos gets a little bit loose. They still race side-by-side.
They're still going at it here at this point. Almost contact again there between Hoos and Shepard. Shepard going to really take the car out wide, coming down through 1 and 2 right now. Excuse me, through 3 and 4 right now. And it looks like Shepard's finally got it done.
Okay, let's jump up. Assuming Shepard gets this done, let's jump up to the 7. This is another driver trying the same thing the Shepard just did. Working the outside is Chris Davis, trying to get around Michael Frenchie Lemieux. The 7 not able to do is going to tuck back in. Now look at, here comes Tiernan on the outside, working around Matt Hoos. The outside line is working, at least for some guys.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it looks like it's 5-1 in pick'em on who's it's going to work for and who it's not going to work for here at this point. 25 laps down in the book, so about an eighth of the way through this race. Drivers starting to figure things out.
So Tiernan does get it done on Donnie Moore. And now anything you can do, I can do better, says J.R. Shepard as he tries to go around the top side of Moore. Moore takes it really wide, not leaving a lot of room between the 26 and the outside wall. Oh, there's a great look at the drive off from the 98, and I think he's going to get it done. The outside line is the place to be, at least if your name is Tiernan or Shepard.
Yeah, certainly, and I think it's really a testament to the driving ability of those two. Some of these other drivers that may not have the seat time necessarily that Tiernan and Shepard do, they're finding themselves in a little bit of a tougher place here at this point, and they're having a little bit of trouble to get that high line working, but for the two of them, it is working an absolute treat here at this point.
Everybody's single file now. We had a 16-car field. All cars are still on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is Tom Hilbert, our pole sitter. Right next to him, the driver who was outside of him on the front row, Matt Shanowski. Shanowski had a little bit of trouble, so he might be out there racing with a car that doesn't feel well right now. There's a side-by-side battle we have on there. That's now working the inside. Tiernan can do it left or do it right as he goes underneath Mr. Aggressive of Chris Davis. And Shepard says, okay, Shepard gets into him. They spin. A little bit of contact with the pit wall attenuator from Chris Davis. No caution.
They're both going to get spun back around. The question is if iRacing will pick up those slower cars as a caution moment. No, it will not. They're going to stay green, and this is a massively detrimental penalty here, both to Shepard and to Davis.
The bad news is they spin and they lose about 3/4 of the lap. The good news is they stay on the lead lap, and there probably will be another yellow. Let's tell you what happened there. Shepard is now out in front of Davis on track. Well, Shepard's got his work cut out for him right now because his flock is on the loose.
Yeah, certainly. He's going to try to catch back up here at this point as we take a look at that replay. Just a little bit of miscommunication there, I think. Didn't expect him to check up like that.
Tiernan made it through. Shepard was going to follow suit, and well, for whatever reason, you be the judge, it didn't work out. All right, let's go ahead and put the camera on our leader because he's been out there for 33 laps. Let's give him a little love. We're talking about John Wilson. I've been waiting for Wilson to have a good race. I think he's really quick. I know he's really clean. You talk Mr. Aggressive, we're talking about Chris Davis. Got that reputation, well, for being aggressive, confident. Those are euphemisms. We'll stick with those. He agrees that John Wilson is his polar opposite, is very clean, very conservative, and John's having a good run right now, leading, well, all but one lap this race.
Yeah, doing a really, really great job here at this point. And, you know, coming into with Chris Davis and John Wilson being his teammate, it's been really and truly what the name is on the can of that team. Continuous development racing, just continually trying to get better, even out the rough patches, and try to be able to have some good running. And it's really, I think, coming to the fore here with Wilson's leading run right now.
We're looking at your points leader, Tiernan. Tiernan is racing the middle to the outside line almost by choice. I've seen him race that line, and there's no one underneath him. He just kind of likes it out there. You see Tiernan on the outside in the white with the yellow stripe.
Yeah, I think he's doing a great job up there just holding on to that line and making it work. And as you said, kind of by his own decision to be able to do it as he runs right now with Michael Goodman. And it looks like Goodman getting a little bit squirrely. Now here comes the problem, though. One of the advantages of running that high line is the fact that you're able to get some relatively clear racetrack in front of you with Pearson up on that high line as well. That's going to send Tiernan down to the low side.
Indeed, Tiernan was the only one. Oh boy, Tiernan really working. He almost gets into Pearson. Now Pearson is stuck up there, so Tiernan had to tuck down. He's going to pick up the position. He was hoping to pick up the position on Goodman. He'll have to settle for picking it up on Pearson, who's got stuck to the outside. And here comes Frenchie Lemieux. I was talking to Michael Lemieux. I nicknamed him Frenchie. He said, "That's funny soup. You can go with that, but you know, my nickname is Peppy, as in Pepe Le Pew from Bugs Bunny fame." So we have many options now.
Plenty of options here for the nicknames across the board in Soup. If there's going to be a good nickname to be had, you're going to find it. As look at this, Steven Spies, from having that early incident, already challenging back through the field on the back of Matt Hoos and Donnie Moore.
You talk about Donnie Moore. Well, he was in 13th spot. He is up 6 spots right now. Both of these guys started 13th and 14th. They reached side by side. Meanwhile, that's going on. We got a battle up front. peek into the underside is the beautiful black, purple, and gold machine of Jeffrey Harden, his better half watching on. We give a shout out to Brandy right now as the 36 looks to get to the front, working around John Wilson if he can.
And trying to see if he's able to get anything here at this point. A little bit of movement farther back in the field, but these top four relatively staying close as we ride on board with the loose lugs driver in the number 36. Look at his hands coming out of the corners there, Soup, relatively contained. You can see him trying to work, get that car to rotate, but then as he comes up out of the corner, not a lot of counter steer here at this point. That car is handling quite well.
We talked about John Wilson being a very clean driver. It even says Mr. Clean on the back of the car there. You know, you talked about, and now we have the battle looking to the inside. Harden gets inside Mr. Clean right now. Oh, my goodness. That was a nice clean move from Harden as he gets the lead. And now Goodman's going to try to get in there as well. And if Harden would have his way, he would like, if he could, Wilson to get down in front of Tiernan, but that's not the case. So Tiernan moves up one more. And for good measure, let's bring in Michael Frenchie Pepe Lemieux, see if he can get into fourth.
Let's see what he can do here. Little bit of a run up there for Lemieux as he fights on Wilson. He is going to be able to lock down to fourth place, but he's got to be careful. James Tiernan, who's...
You may think the Shepherd is in a bad position right now, but DJ, it allows him to do something. There is no way he's going to be able to run down the field and get back up to Tiernan and Harden and Goodman without a yellow flag. So what Shepherd can do right now is a little bit of playing possum. He can just sit back there and race the car incredibly easy and save a lot of tires, so when the yellow does come, assuming it does, he might have more to race than these guys who are battling the whole race.
Yeah, very much so. He can just sit back and lay and wait. And let's remember, if a yellow flag comes out here at this point, he's going to find himself right back up to the back of the field, right in position and ready to attack. And being able to save that stuff, Soup, that can certainly help him.
We're working lap number 55. You know what? I've got to make sure I put on the right lap, though. We are going 200 laps, so I forget that there are pit stops here. I got to remember if it's Friday or Saturday. So they do get to come in for tires. So even though Shepherd may be back there saving the stuff, he wants to make sure he uses them all up by the time the stint is over.
Yeah, exactly, Soup. And what he'll be doing here at this point is he'll be kind of feeling out what the rest of this field is doing, feeling if there's going to be another yellow coming and if he's going to be able to dive down into pit lane, or if it keeps going the way it is and staying relatively clean and green, if that means that he's going to have to save his stuff for a little bit longer, potentially go on a little bit of an alternate pit strategy to catch him up back to the back of the field.
I want to talk about two drivers now. Things start to settle down. I want to talk about Mark Herzog and Matt Shanowski. They were involved in that incident early on. They both came in for pit stops. While it is a small difference, they have about a 6-lap advantage on fuel. Well, no, that's not really true, because these guys are out there right now, have not made a pit stop. They have much less fuel than assuming Shanowski and Herzog have, who came in and probably filled it up. So they'll be able to run a long time farther, assuming tires aren't an issue. And there's a possibility they can put some guys a lap down.
Yeah, exactly. And we're hearing some news here at this point, Soup, that it looks like J.R. Shepherd, that pace that the number 98 has, it is enough that he is caught back up to the back of the field here.
I should have known better than to doubt J.R. Shepherd's ability to run down a field. He has indeed caught him. He has worked his way around Bruce Pearson. He's now up into 13th position. I'll tell you this, watch Shepherd. He will be much happier in 13th or 11th than he will be in 12th. So right now he's looking at 2 cars in front of him. Well, actually 3 cars if you call Lowell, Jewell, Shanowski, and Segala. If he gets through Lowell Jewell, he'll be in 10th. He won't be happy with that one. He'd like to stay on an odd number, so when a yellow flag does come out, be on the inside line. Although, maybe here, outside line, not so bad.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like, though, that the outside line comes into play about a lap and a half into a green flag stint, though. So I think if you're caught on the outside off the drop of the green flag, you've got to fight a little bit more than you'd want to. But then it'll start to come up to speed there as we look there. I believe that was Tom Hilbert going a lap down.
It's funny you mentioned that the side-by-side racing is a extinct animal right now. It is single file all the way down. Boy, talking about a driver who I think raced the rubber off the car. Let's look at the 75 right now, John Wilson. He's up there. Remember, he led 47 laps. Watch his line here. It's not close to getting it down. Well, now he proves me wrong by getting it in there. But he's struggling. He is racing now in 9th position and dropping.
Yeah, and that's just an issue, exactly as you said, Soup, running the tires a little bit too hard, too early, and letting them burn off here at this point. We're about a third of the way down in the race, so theoretically you could come in here and get a fresh set of boots if you want to, but by doing that, by pitting under green flag conditions, that'll put you a lap down, and that is not a position you want to be in.
Indeed, it's a gamble you'd want to take, but it's the loss, the downside of it going wrong is so costly right now. We talked about Wilson. One of the dynamics of this inverted field is it puts guys that maybe you won't usually see racing up front. And honestly, DJ, I think a lot of times when you have guys up there, they say, conserve tire consumption or saving rubber's not a big issue. They enjoy being out in front. And I think that's what happened to Wilson. Conservation was the word I was looking for. I need one of those synonym books to help me.
Indeed. But as we watch right now, the number 98, I'll tell you what, JR has done a great job on that tire conservation, moving his way back up through the field here at this point into 12th position. And look at what he's able to do here, Soup. He's able to look this way, he's able to look that way, and that tells me that he's got enough rubber underneath it. Whoa, is the 31 almost getting squirrely in front of him, and that's going to send JR for a little bit of a ride.
He looked into the right tail light of Matt Shinosky, who was able to save it in that Petty Blue machine. That's a commentator's curse, as we had that one on camera. And Shepard loses a position, dropping now to 13th behind Joe Segala. So he'll try to run back Segala and then get those two guys again. But then he's got a smorgasbord in front of him of Lowell Jewell, Shinosky, and Segala once he gets there.
Yeah, he's got plenty in front of him here at this point to try to pick off. We focus in on the battle right now between Steven Spies and Mark Herzog. This is the battle for P7. Spies doing a good job here, up 3 from the drop of the green flag, and that includes that incident that we saw him have earlier, but it looks like Herzog's got the run down to the inside.
Herzog in his familiar number 57 yellow in and out machine. He gets to the inside of the orange and blue car of Steven Spies. Move for second right now. Goodman under attack, and he's going to lose the spot to the Crocodile as James Tiernan moves up into second.
All right, moving his way forward. And I've got to say, Soup, I kind of imagined that was a little bit of a matter of time there. Tiernan was just biding his time, waiting for the right opportunity to present itself, and did it ever.
Michael Goodman might have given a little bit of a waiver on there, maybe not going to force the issue. I don't think Tiernan is going to have the same attitude when he gets to Jeffrey Harden, because Harden knows that his better half, Brandy, is watching, and he's not going to surrender the lead. And yielding second is one thing, but giving up the lead's another. The 36 is going to be tough to get around, and the car looks good.
Yeah, it certainly does. Harden's in a good position here at this point, and as you said, Soup, I think he is going to absolutely put up a fight here at this point. He knows he's got some good speed, and he does not want to lose track position to James Tiernan.
All right, we got to go back to the 31 of Shinosky. This is something else. Here comes Shepard on the inside of Lowell Jewell. Now, he gets that done. Shinosky was able to get around Lowell Jewell. This is a yellow flag in the making back here. Shepard would like to be clear of this if he could. Now here comes the 81 of Joe Segala underneath Lowell Jewell as well, as they fight. Jewell's trying to hang on to what would be a 12th spot.
Yeah, trying to hold on to it here at this point, but we're going to have to see if that's going to play. Little bit of a close run coming down into the corner, but it looks like space is going to be given and respect given as well.
That's one spot, and also gathering up, following him through is Bruce Pearson as he now moves up into 13th. Lowell Jewell dropping to 14th. Everybody's still on the lead lap, I believe. Nope, I apologize. Tom Hilbert is indeed 4 laps down and probably might be calling it a night. Last car out there racing in 15th. Well, for now, is Chris Davis. Let's look at Davis, because right behind him, that's the 36. Hardin's not going to want to waste a lot of time behind Davis here. He's got Tiernan coming.
Yeah, he's not going to want to wait around. He's not going to want to back anything off. He knows what he's got to push here at this point, and there he goes, putting him a lap down. Davis tried to put up a little bit of a fight, but not enough there, and I think he read the writing on the wall. Now the job here for Hardin, run away. Run off into the distance, build as much of a gap before Tiernan has to deal with Davis.
Jeffrey Hardin, the biggest fan of Chris Davis right now, hoping that Davis can slow down the inevitable charge of James Tiernan. Tiernan looking, he's going to do the outside line. He takes it wide, ducks to the inside. He's going to force it down the middle. He gets a good one. He's going to get the dive in. And now it's academic. Pass made.
Yep, move made there, and that gap's going to hold at about 0.6 of a second. Let's call it about 3 or 4 car lengths as they come off of turn 4. A little bit farther back down in the field, Wilson, Shinosky still in this battle. J.R. Shepard looking to try to make it a 2-for-1.
Oh boy, I just got a feel for Wilson. The car has just gone away as he continues to fall. Cannot keep pace with Shinosky or Shepard. Shepard was able to get around all those guys, get around Wilson, Segala, Pearson, Lowell, Jewell. So Shepard now up still considerably far back, 11 seconds behind the leader, racing in 10th with Shinosky next on his list.
Yeah, going to try to move his way forward here. And again, taking those alternate lines there for J.R. Shepard. That is certainly an area that he is starting to express that he is able to get the runs on these cars. He's taking a higher lane into the corner and diving it down low by corner exit. A later apex there that's going to allow for more minimum corner speed and crucially more speed off of corner exit.
That's a very good call, GJ. We've jumped you around a lot, so let's see if we can stay here and watch a master work on the back. You almost wonder if he's thinking about going around the outside, then he takes that wide line, gets a good drive off of 2, and now he gets side by side through 3, comes out of 4 a little bit ahead, tries to leave Shinosky enough room, and the pass is made, and Shepard now moves up into an odd position as soon as Shinosky realizes that the pass has been made. Come on, Matt. Thank you very much. And now Matt surrenders back into 10th.
Yeah, and that's going to allow Shepard here to have a little bit more of clean air in front of him. One of his old sparring partners, Steven Spees, about 4.5 seconds up the road. And so now at this point, JR going to clear by some traffic. That's the number 20 of Lowell Jewell sticking down on the low side, letting JR on by. But what JR is going to do is he's going to probably roll back into that tire conservation mode, try to save the rubber a little bit here at this point and see if it can last him a little bit longer.
Let's look at the 75 of John Wilson real quick. We talked about how he was really struggling. Well, he finally, enough was enough. He came in for a stop. Got fresh rubber on the car. He'll be good to go with fuel, I think, from here.
Yeah, should be good to go at about the halfway point. Again, a little bit of an alternate strategy there. Not sure that's my favorite call in the world, but he may have just needed it here at this point coming on into pit lane. And we've got to remember, if this does stay clean and green through the final half of this race, that's going to change everything up, and everybody's going to have to make that green flag stop.
All you little soldiers in Soup Clipboard Army, why don't you write this down? Before John Wilson took that pit stop, he was behind Joe Segala racing in 13th position. He's going to come in now. He's going to be faster than all the guys that he just got passed by. And we'll see if he comes out when the pit stops are done. We got a lot of pitters. Joe Segala, but the big one is J.R. Shepard.
Yeah, and this is going to be the litmus test here, I think. Drivers are going to be looking at Wilson. They're going to be looking at the likes of them to see how quickly they were able to go. But Soup, I think that was only a 2-tire call there for J.R. Shepard.
Yeah, Shepard is a strong believer that the right side's only enough. Now, Shepard comes out of pit lane right behind the leader of Hardin. And as Shepard comes across the line this time, we'll see how many laps he is down. I believe it's going to be 2 laps down. We'll see what iRacing tells me. It is indeed 2, but that's going to be short-lived. Look at JR take the car where no man has gone before. With fresh right sides, gets under there, gets his lap back, or at least one of his laps.
Yeah, at least one of his laps here at this point. He's still going to have to basically wait until the rest of the field comes down into pit lane to be able to make that back up. But here he comes around now, going to have to work by Bruce Pearson. Pearson, who currently runs in 9th place.
Now, he was about 13 seconds behind Harden at the time when he came in for a pit stop. So you can already tell, I don't know, maybe JR or DJ, you're able to check lap times, but you can already see the distance that he's put on Harden. Even though he is a lap and almost 2 laps down, the lap times he's running right now, it won't take him that long to do the undercut.
No, it certainly will not. Here at this point, looking at lap times to give you that idea of a comparison, Harden's last lap time to 15.71, J.R. Shepard's last lap time of 14.98. Folks, if you ever wanted an example of what fresh rubber can do for you, there it is.
At about 0.8 of a second per lap. Again, 13 seconds. You're looking at 15, 16 laps. You got to wonder if Harden can afford to stay out there, but then I'm not sure if he's even thinking that. He's got Tiernan behind him. He's probably thinking, well, I'm in the lead. I'm controlling the race. I need to do what I want to do. Coming up on the back of Bruce Pearson, who's running an 8th, last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, last car in the lead lap here at this point. Going to try to move out of the way here will be Pearson, as you see Tiernan closing in behind him. Now remember, Tiernan made that pit stop on lap 5, so theoretically he's got some more fuel in the tank. He can go a little bit longer than Harden if he wants to. But if he continues to run long, that's going to put him more and more at risk for the undercut.
And again, just to hammer home this point, he came in early. It's not 5 extra laps of fuel. He's got himself a much full fuel tank right now, so he can go considerably longer. Boy, Harden will want to make quick work if he can here of Pearson, and he does. The real story is the race that's going on right now, and let's be fair, it's really between Tiernan and the car that's about 1.5 laps back, J.R. Shepard. My timing and scoring says the interval between Shepard and Harden is a minute 3. A minute 3? Can that be right? I guess maybe it is by the time pit stop is done. Nah, can't be right. Ignore me.
I think it looks like it's about 23 seconds. Call it 24 seconds based off of what I'm seeing here, Soup. So he's coming on, and I got to tell you what, this could be a pit stop strategy coup for J.R. Shepard if Harden keeps out the way he is. Indeed.
Soup looked on the wrong column of this timing and scoring. Sometimes too much information is too much information. Indeed, it is 23.5 seconds right now between Shepard and the leader. And that gap is shrinking.
Yeah, it's coming down here more and more. This is looking better and better for J.R. Shepard as these laps continue to tick on by, as they continue to go along here at this point. Looks like JR going to move his way down to the inside of the 26 there. That's going to be, I believe, a lapped car, unless I'm greatly mistaken. No, that's Donnie Moore. That's for position.
For position. Moore is a lap down as well. Oh, you know what? It is a battle for 5th and 6th, but Shepard is several lap down. Moore hasn't yet to make the stop. In fact, 5 drivers have been out there for a long run. It's Harden, Tiernan, Boos, Herzog, and Moore. Michael Lemieux just made his stop. Michael Goodman has made his stop. Leader of all the cars who have stopped is indeed J.R. Shepard. Let's look at Shepard right now as he works inside of Lowell Jewell.
He's going to go down to the inside here at this point, waiting to see what he's going to be able to do, able to get by Lowell Jewell. Now it's going to be Bruce Pearson next on the chopping block, and then it looks like the number 75 up ahead of him. Now that is, of course, our Canadian in the field, John Wilson.
Wilson has all made his stop. The interval now, I'm looking at Shepard. It's down to just a tick over 22 seconds between him and the leader, and that's what Shepard having to deal with all this traffic in front of him here. Oh my goodness! Wilson gets a little bit of a hip check to Herzog. They keep it going straight. That happened right in front of Shepard. Love that camera shot where they go underneath you. There you see Shepard underneath the yellow 57. He secures that position, looking to get around Wilson car next. That won't be for position, but it will be for, well, track position.
Yes, it will at this point as they go, trying to be able to get on. Yellow in the air.
Bruce Pearson, I believe, with a little bit of Joe Segala going by. If I'm looking at the right thing here. And you talk about when you're good and when you're lucky. DJ, who's the lucky dog?
It's J.R. Shepard. It couldn't have worked out any better here for the Different Path Motorsports driver, I've got to tell you.
So now he's been out there. We look at Shepard. In fact, maybe we can dial up. Let's dial up JR right now, see if he's going to come in. Let's see, get him before pit stops. Hate to bother him when it's. I don't think he's going to be coming in. He gets the wave around. JR Shepard, I know you're busy running a wave around lap there. Are you going to make a stop or are you going to stay out?
We'll see if I can get caught up here. If I can, I'll probably make a stop here.
All right. That yellow flag work for you? Or did you wanted to see if the undercut would work?
No, I got screwed with that contact early on, so I really needed a caution there.
Got it. All right. Good luck to you.
All right, thanks, Sue.
And look at that. He talks to us and able to decide his pit strategy as well. He catches up and makes a stop.
All right, so good call there. He's going to be able to come in and crucially going to be able to make that pit stop from the lead lap. That is the crucial thing here at this point. So very, very good running, and this has got to put the rest of the field here on notice for J.R. Shepard as he is going to be on the lead lap and all the way up into 5th here soon.
Now, it should be, we should note that during pit stops, Tiernan was able to beat Jeffrey Harden out of pit lane and take over the lead. Now, it could be Tiernan took 2 tires, and I'll do a little bit of research right now, and we'll see if that was a 2-tire versus a 4-tire stop. I would think probably not, or Harden would have lost more positions. Quick check as I'm looking at the replay here of Tiernan coming in to see if the tire, if he does go up on both sides, or if he's going to just take right sides as well. Yep, and I believe that's it. Just right sides only for Tiernan.
All right, so that appears to be the winning strategy here at this point. That's what we saw Shepard do a little bit earlier on. Interestingly here, Soup, I'm seeing Jeffrey Harden coming back down into pit lane. Not sure what that call is for the number 36. That's going to drop him down through the order. I think he may be going for a full set of tires there at this point, wanting to take a little bit of an alternate strategy now that we're under yellow.
It's possibly that maybe in the hurry to get ahead of Tiernan, he maybe got a penalty. Well, of course, you couldn't take tires if you had a penalty, so he's going to come in. Maybe, you know, if you think you're racing, you got Tiernan in front of you, and he's got fresh right sides, and you've got fresh right sides. Harden probably thinks, well, I just have a strategy for second right there. But if he comes in and takes 4, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Try to put yourself on a little bit of a different strategy here at this point. See if that'll change things up for you. As we get back into double file order, Tiernan and Hoos up on your front row. It's time to go back to green flag racing with about 70 laps to go.
6 cars on the lead lap. The wave around J.R. Shepard in that 6th position. Harden was able to sort back around, and we'll give you his official position right now, scored in 4th. And he's actually right up there, yeah. You know, he comes in for 4 tires. We get a jump, a little bit of a mix-up on the grid, but look what Harden was able to do. He came in and got that late pit stop in 4th. Then they waved him all the way around. He's back. Oh, Herzog gets really loose in front of Harden. They're going straight. We got a caution.
We do indeed. And indeed, it looks like here that this could have been an admin thrown caution because of that little bit of a mix-up that we talked about, Sue.
I also got Donnie Moore in the wall, so it could be a couple things. I saw Donnie Moore get together on lap number 1 30. That, yeah, I believe Donnie Moore actually got turned around there as he got in it with Tom Hilbert. But we'll let the admin do a little bit more housekeeping going on. Let's dial up Matt Hoos. See if he's... Matt, you got fresh rights or you got 4 new tires?
Just right sides. The left sides are doing good.
All right. Well, you've worked your way up from well back in the field. Started in 14th, up 12 spots, but you got that Tiernan guy next to you. But the outside line seems to have been working. What do you think?
Well, I owe him one, but I don't think I'll pay that back tonight. But that's always a possibility. But I think the outside has a play here, and that last restart took off pretty good.
Remember what my dad taught me, the tree remembers, the axe forgets. So not a lot of tears are going to be shed if the crocodile gets roughed up a bit. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Soup.
You know, sometimes you get a bad reputation. James Tiernan has picked up a reputation of being confident. I maybe early on, I think the poor guy's been doing a pretty good job of not a whole lot of incident points to his record in this series. I'm going to cut the guy a break.
No, he's been doing well and been able to hold on pretty well to everything here at this point. It does look like, though, Soup, we've got our first DNF of the day. Donnie Moore has called it a night, getting the message here that he's manually disconnected from the server.
And that's good news for Tom Hilbert, who's racing in 16th spot right now, 6 laps down. With Donnie's departure, Tom might be able to vulture himself up into 15th and find himself on the pole like he was tonight for next round. And that yellow flag, in theory, should bring Shepard back up behind all the lead lap cars, and indeed it does. He now starts in 6th outside of row 3. Well, things have worked out for him. All right, we're going to go green. Look at who's trying to get a jump. Too much of a jump. He has to blow up. Tiernan now gets the move, but I believe Hoos is going to be able to tuck down in and get that second position. No, the 57 of Herzog putting a nose in there. Hoos is clear now. I'll call for him. He does not force the issue. Now he gets a good drive off of 4 and he's clear.
Yeah, he finally got it there. Herzog was just threatening down to the inside, and that was really preventing him from getting down low. Surprisingly there, J.R. Shepard will be able to gain up 1 since the drop of the green flag. He's going to be riding in 5th place here at this point. Look at how much lower he's running. He is digging here behind Jeffrey Harden.
With 61 laps to go, plenty of time for Shepard to get around the guys in front of him, which would be Harden, Herzog, and Hoos. The question is, DJ, the longer he takes to do that, the more ground he loses to his biggest rival, Tiernan.
Yeah, he's got to be smart about this. He doesn't want to take any low percentage moves here. He wants to be making high percentage moves that are not going to run the risk of getting him into an accident, and he's got to do it quickly. That is the key here, Sue.
That's where the action is right now, so let's ride on board with J.R. Shepard as he tries to find a way. He looks low, loses momentum out of 4, not going to happen this time. From what I've been told, the tires are very, very friendly right after a pit stop. They start to level out a bit going on, so I guess if you're going to be aggressive, you want to be aggressive early after you just come out.
Yeah, you've got to try to put them through their paces here at this point, and really with only about 50 laps or so left to go in the race, it's not like you've got to worry about him for all that, as here comes Shepard up to the inside of Harden. Harden with a wiggle, Shepard gets the spot.
Well, the 36 drifted up, left the door open, and Shepard was through without a question. Moving now up into 4th position. Next up, about 4 or 5 car lengths up, will be Herzog. 7 cars on the lead lap. Michael Lemieux in 7th. Let's look at Lemieux right now as he's in a battle with a car that is 2 laps down. That is Chris Davis. Lemieux, the final car on your lead lap. He's trying to catch Michael Goodman. Goodman is a long way away, not really in sight. Goodman, there's several cars as a cushion between Lemieux and Goodman.
Yeah, and it looked like Lemieux there tried to take a look down to the inside of, I believe that's Lowell Jewel Series organizer. Lowell's going to give him a little bit of space, not a whole lot, but that is a lap car, so he's going to be able to let him on by here at this point and keep on going.
That's probably the best racing on the track right now. They get that sorted out. I got a little bit of a bad feeling going on there. And they get that worked out. Let's look at Mark Herzog. He has pulled up right behind Matt Hoos. We talked to Matt Hoos before it went green. Well, he doesn't have anything for Tiernan, and right now he's got a rear view mirror full of an In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, he certainly does. And remember how aggressive Herzog was off the drop of the green flag, poking his nose down to the inside, trying to see if there was a little bit of space to be had. He's heads up about it here. He's not pushing too hard, but he's doing exactly what you said, Soup, just keeping his nose in place to see if there's any sort of error that can happen.
We'll stay on this battle for a little bit so that you don't get seasick as we jump you through the field. Hoos looks pretty strong up there. Let's stay on it for one more lap, and then we're going to take you to another one I've been keeping an eye on. That's a battle between Spies and Shinosky for the first car one lap down for that lucky dog position. Let's go there now. Look at Spies. This is a battle for 8th. The blue machine is Shinosky. Spies, first car one lap down.
Yeah, and remember, the lucky dog is, when the caution flag flies, the first car a lap down gets to pass all the other cars and ostensibly get their lap back. And so this could be absolutely crucial here for both Spies or Shinosky. If we are to get another yellow flag, this could put them back up into contention. These are two quick cars over the course of today, and they've just had a little bit of bad luck over the running, and that's what sees them a lap down.
Working lap number 154, round 7. We're past the halfway mark of the season. It's been all James Tiernan so far, and he's having his way one more time. He's got 4 wins, looking to pick up a 5th. The only man who has beat Tiernan this season is J.R. Shepard, currently in 4th. Shepard, while he made quick work of some of the guys like Harden and Goodman, is having a hard time running down Hoos and Herzog.
Well, that's just one of the things that can happen here, Soup. The farther up you get in the field, naturally, whoa, there's a car spun around there, and that was a lucky break for Shepard to get out of the way. I think that was the number 40 machine there of Lemieux.
Lemieux got in it with John Wilson. Wilson's car was able to keep going straight. Lemieux spun off onto the inside wall, and I guess that's why the iRacing stewards didn't throw the flag. No car really went around, but Lemieux took a hard knock to the left headlight.
Yeah, certainly did take a hard one there, and thankfully we stay under green flag conditions. Not fortunate if you are Lemieux, as he'll now find himself a lap down, and he's going to be the one in that lucky dog position. We got to talk again about the brilliant avoidance maneuver there from J.R. Shepard. Just heads up to get out of the way.
Yeah, well, Frenchie didn't want to surrender any more position, so he backed the car up into, I guess, the racing line, or close to the racing line, and Shepard was able to get around as everybody else, and there was no other damage to any other cars other than Wilson and Lemieux. You're right on board with Shepard right now. You see the 2 cars ahead of him. He's made a little bit of ground. The car directly in front, the yellow car, is Mark Herzog in 3rd, and then that blue painted machine there with flames of Matt Hoos. The fiance said, "I can't see your car. It's too plain, a white and blue machine. Can you do something a little more flamboyant?" In this case, flamboyant. And now he's got some good-looking machines if they see him go by.
And I've got to say here, I'm impressed with this drive from Matt Hoos. He's been under pretty much continuous pressure from Mark Herzog since that last restart, and he has withstood it well. He's running very consistent lap times at about the 1:15.3 range here at this point. Indeed, just down to a 1:15.3 flat, or 15 flat on that last run. It's very, very good running here for him.
You can see on the tower the interval between the leader and Hoos, about just a tick under 1.3 seconds right now. Shepard beginning to close the gap up now on Hoos and Herzog. It's a tough position that Shepard's in. He wants to get to Hoos and Herzog as quickly as he can, but he can't do it at the expense of having nothing left for the final 10 laps if he does have to race with Tiernan.
Yeah, he's got to try to hold it back here a little bit, not be too aggressive. I think the best thing to happen for JR at this moment would be seeing another yellow flag come out, get the field back bunched up again. But as spread out as this field is, I'm not sure if he's going to get one.
is often the case in these races. They get a little messy early on when the cars are close together, but then people settle in and usually get your long green flag runs at the end. 6 cars on the lead lap. That also offers up a strategy for drivers like Harden and Goodman, who are at the back of the lead lap, who could come in and get fresh rubber. Now, they've been racing out there for 43 laps, and tire degradation doesn't seem to be too bad, especially if you have speed. But it does allow Harden and Goodman maybe to come in and take a shot at the guys up front. DJ, with only 6 guys on the lead lap, it affords you to do that because you don't go to the very back.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to have to see here in these closing stages just how this is going to play out. It's turning a little bit fascinating. And the other thing to come into play here, Soup, with this longer green flag run, lap traffic coming into play once again.
For most series, lap traffic is a big issue, and I tend to harp on it a lot because it's important to me as a perpetual backmarker. But honestly, here, doing a bootleg race, it's almost no fun to see lap traffic because the guys, for the most part, 95% of them are so good at getting out of the way. And DJ, I know it seems simple for if you're an iRacer, if you're new to iRacing, well, just drive slower you get in the other lane, bad things can happen up there, especially if it's a lane you don't practice racing in.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not forget about some of the physics that are modeled here on iRacing. You know, we talk about a lot of times on short tracks or super speedways or intermediate ovals, the marble buildup as these tires start to degrade a little bit, those little bits of rubber that swerve out to the outside of the track, that is modeled here perfectly on iRacing. And so if you get up into the high side later on in the race, you're going to find yourself driving across glass, basically, because you're going to be running across marbles.
As a road racer, I can attest this. You wouldn't think this was the case, but it's almost easier to be a back marker in a road race because you can lift down the straightaway, or you can get past on corner exit. You're still doing your racing line a lot more than you do on an oval. On an oval, you're forced to go up where you haven't raced the entire time, and it's ugly up there, and it's messy, and you don't have the talent of the faster guys, and it's not a lot of fun. Let's look at Shepard. He's got up the back of the 57. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's caught up here at this point. Yeah, to your point, Soup, because the biggest thing you have to do when you are a back marker, when you're being overtaken, is be predictable. And because of the nature of oval racing, being predictable is hard when you're offline, and so that creates a whole new different strata for you to be in and can be very, very difficult to make sure you are good.
Found ourselves a battle. Shepard in the familiar number 98, working on the back of the yellow in-and-out machine of Herzog. This is a battle for third. The gap between third and the leader, about 2.3 seconds. So we are getting close to running out of laps. I don't know if Shepard is going to have anything for Tiernan unless we get a late yellow. As we work lap number 179.
I think it's not out of the realm of possibility here. Indeed, I think it's almost a certainty that JR is going to find himself on the podium. I think it's a matter of time here, especially with that Herzog into the wall.
And a little bit of Shepard getting into the back of it, just comes across the line. Well, we only got 20 to go. Shepard now has worked himself up into a podium position. Does he have time? Of course he has time. You know what? Because we're dropping the disco ball. We're spinning the mirrors. Get out your high-heeled shoes. Get those bell-bottoms on. Put your Zima on the table. It's time to boogie.
Let's do it, Soup. Here we go, and the chase is on for J.R. Shepard. 1.3 seconds. Can he make that up on Matt Hoos and maybe get a second place after what's been a pretty trying day for the number 98?
I think it's more of a case of Herzog falling off the pace than it is Hoos pulling away. As Hoos got a big lead right now. Shepard's got to work his way around Lowell Jewell. We got ourselves 17 laps to go. You're looking at Tiernan, Hoos, and Shepard. Three guys familiar with podium. Guys that you still have a chance. Michael Goodman is the last car on the lead lap. If a yellow flag were to come out now, he could come in, get 4 fresh tires, and start inside of row 3 on the restart. Not unthinkable to do with 15 to go.
No, certainly not. And if we come into that restart zone, that is where things are going to get very interesting in terms of strategy. I do not think it's out of the realm of possibility to see one or two, maybe even the whole field deciding to dive down into pit lane to try to take a little bit of an alternate strategy and jump their way onto the tires.
Boy, that's the last thing James Tiernan needs to see right now. He's got this race in hand with just a tick over 13 laps to go. He'd just like to see this go green the whole way. Remember, we have green-white checkers here this season for the first time in all the Bootleg Racing League series. The interval between Hoos and Tiernan, 1.3 seconds. Don't go away, fans, because we've seen the tires fall off, and when they fall off big time. So it's not unthinkable. Tiernan's not going anywhere from Hoos.
Very much so, and let's not forget the fact that a lot of these drivers here, Soup, only took 2 tires. They only took those right sides, saying the left sides were going to be okay. So could we see some pretty heavy degradation for those left sides that could come into play? One thing I will say is that Shepard here, not looking in as much of a commanding position as I thought he was going to be, he's now falling back. He's 1.8 seconds behind Hoos as they run.
Hoos knocks off 3/100ths of a second off Tiernan. Is there a chance for Hoos to get there? Perhaps. 9 laps to go. Let's see what the interval is they come across this time. Tiernan's could just be minding the gap. A little bit closer, but I think Tiernan is comfortable right now. We'll keep an eye on that. Shepard not able to do anything with Hoos.
Yeah, just really not able to close in. Harden, though, looking like he's trying to make a 5th place into a 4th place here with about 8 laps to go.
Yeah, everything's gone south for Herzog right now. The 36 of Harden looking to get that pass made. Herzog was racing for a long time behind Hoos in 3rd, then for a long time ahead of Shepard in 3rd, then he was in 4th all by himself, and now he's got Herzog. Herzog is a closer. He's really good at the end of the race. 5 to go.
Yeah, 5 to go here at this point. Herzog, again, very, very impressive performance today. We've seen him withstand so much pressure at this point, so much attack from behind, and he has just absolutely lapped it on up and has not really made any sort of mistake. We saw the one error at one that cost him the position to J.R. Shepard, but that's about it.
With about 4 laps to go, Tom Hilbert was able to race long enough to get around Donnie Moore, then he called it a night. Hilbert sitting in 15th position. Look for him on the pole next week. He led 1 lap today. Well, go ahead. J.R. Shepard beat Tiernan in the opener. Tiernan then went on to win the next 3 races before Shepard came back and won. Tiernan came back and has won the last one. He's got 4 wins. He's got the white flag this time around. He's got himself a 1.3 second lead on Matt Hoos. Things have seemed to be settling down. The question is whether Herzog can hold off Harden for 4th position. White flag for Tiernan, the Crocodile, out of corner number 2. He's got a lapped car in front of him. I don't think he's going to have to mess with him. That's the 7 of Chris Davis. He's going to wait his position. 5 wins for James Tiernan. Who gets second? Let's look at the battle between Herzog and Harden. And it is Herzog who gets that 4th position. Harden will settle for 5th. Last car on the lead lap, Michael Goodman. We left out J.R. Shepard, who settles for 3rd. The racing is over here, but our broadcast is not. We'll take a short break. We'll come back and run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network.
chuckles. I'm in danger. 250 can possibly go to the outside. He does go to the outside of Ricky Harden. Tries a slide draft him. Harden goes up the track. Now back down to the bottom. Gets a huge push from Tommy Ryan at the start finish. It's going to be Thomas George.
Running the high line, trying to make that
got
pass.
loose off turn 4.
In the grass goes the 6 car, and they were side by side, 2 by 2 here.
Still Scott Eckler winning the last race of the season and the championship.
Jeff Ford definitely getting the championship for season 2.
Give it up for Thomas George, winning the race and the championship. George overshoots the corner. Scott puts that car just where he needs to on the middle. It's going to be a drag race through the kick.
Welcome back to South Boston Speedway and VGN's 7th round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Whiteriver LLC Super Late Model Series. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. He led 75 of the 200 laps. We're talking about James Crocodile Tiernan as he picks up his 5th win of the season. Matt Hoos came from 14th position, but he'll have to settle for the runner-up position. J.R. Shepard, we think maybe had late radiator damage. He's got into the back of Mark Herzog, was not able to close on the leaders. Will have to settle for 3rd. Mark Herzog was able to hold off Jeffrey Harden for 4th position. Michael Goodman is in 6th, last car on your lead lap. First car 1 lap down, and a poker phenom, Steven Spies. He's going to be just ahead of Matt Shanowski in 8th. TJ?
In 9th, it was series organizer Lowell Jewell, followed by Joe Segala to round out your top 10. Both of those drivers 2 laps down. Moving on to 11th, it was John Wilson who led in the early stages of the race, followed by his teammate Chris Davis. Bruce Pearson was 3 laps down, and then we get into the 3 drivers that had some trouble out there today. Mike Lemieux, Tom Hilbert, and Donnie Moore to round out your 16-car field.
Tom Hilbert, 69 laps down, but finishes in 15th. Look for him in the pole next round. That gives us an opportunity now to talk to our race winner, James Crocodile Tiernan. James, you have a reputation for wrestling a damaged car to the front. I think, as far as I can tell, your car was pretty straight tonight.
That was the hope, and luckily I managed to keep it clean. There's a couple cautions early on, some stuff I had to avoid, and some stuff luckily I was just ahead of. So happy with that result. Now, funnily enough, this track and me, for whatever reason, late in the stints, I can't keep that right front. And for a while there, Hoos was starting to reel me in, and I was starting to get a little nervous when I saw those times going down pretty rapidly, but thankfully no cautions came out, and thankfully he kind of, I think, started burning through that right front quicker than he intended.
I want to talk to the middle of the race. The one thing we talked about, now Shepard got into trouble early, fell well back, but then there was an opportunity there with some yellow flags and stuff. A lot of the drivers came in for a pit stop, and they were 2 laps down, and then Shepard got it back. He was 1 lap down and almost 2 laps down. But his lap times were good, and we were worried that maybe the undercut might work. Did you consider that at all while you were out there running that long stint? How long were you going to stay out?
I could stay out to the end. There's the total gallons for this car is 22 gallons, and they start you off in the race with only 12. So after that first caution came in, I topped. I didn't even really top off. I just got enough fuel to where I can make it to the end. And then from there, it was purely a tire decision.
Got it. It's very interesting. You know what? I would have loved to see it go green and see you run it on the rims like you did. Well, congratulations on the win. You picked up a little more on your points lead, and we'll see if you can get another next week.
Always the hope, and thank you guys for throwing this all together. Thank you, Whiteriver LLC, for sponsoring this series. It's always a pleasure to be here on Friday nights, and I hope it's as enjoyable for the people watching as it is to drive. And shout out to my parents for watching tonight. That helped me win today.
Oh, James, nice job for folks watching. Good job. We'll see you down the road. James Tiernan, your winner today, his 5th of the season. And I believe I'm going to turn it over to DJ. He's going to try to run somebody down.
I am indeed. Looks like we've got Matt Hoos up here in the booth. And all things considered, Matt up 12 on the day, able to hold on to that second place position. This has got to feel like a pretty good result.
Yeah, I'm happy with the second today. Would have loved to have first. These races are not my expertise. My pit strategy is kind of luck a lot of time, but I planned on an early stop to get enough fuel to make it to the end, and then I was set for it, and then we had that caution, and I was going to be scraping the rims by the end if I had to, because I wasn't going to stop.
Well, clearly played out well for you, and that was all with a little bit of damage on the front end of the car that you picked up there. How was the car handling? Were there any big handling problems as a result of that contact?
Yeah, after a little bit, or right at first it didn't feel too bad, but then probably 15, 20 laps after running on it, it developed a push really quick, so then I was having to go onto the apron a little bit to get the car to turn. And that's worked out for me. I was just as fast using the apron, helping me to turn, and thought I had something for James today, but the last 20, the disco ball fell, and I started pushing it and ran out a tire with about 10 to go, so I was just kind of matching his times at that point.
Well, you certainly did a good job, and is this a little bit of portents of things to come? You think you can carry up this momentum into the last 4 or 5 races of the season?
I'm hoping so. I know I'm up in the booth some of the times here, on and off, so I don't really look at points too much. It's just out here for fun, but the momentum should hopefully carry me over tomorrow when we're right back here in the late models. I love the late models at this track.
Well, we wish you all the luck in the world, my friend. Anybody you'd like to thank for this run tonight?
Well, of course, the BRL, Whiteriver, and you guys in the booth, and my team, Thunder Ridge, and Lowell, and all the guys here at the league that help out and all that behind the scenes.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Matt, and we'll see you next week, my friend, and we'll see you tomorrow as well.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Love these interviews. We talked to Tiernan, and Tiernan says, I was a little bit worried that Hoos might have something for me there at the end. We talked to Hoos and said, I thought I had something for Tiernan there at the end until I ran out of rubber. It is funny. These guys are in each other's heads on the track. Let's go ahead and dial up J.R. Shepard, our third place finisher tonight. JR, a lot of speculation up here in the booth. You know what we do. It's what we get paid to do. You got into the back of Herzog, and then you had nothing. Did that little bump slow the car down?
It did something to the car. I'm not going to say that was everything, but it definitely did something. The car wouldn't turn after that. Herzog looked like he'd gotten to the wall a little bit, and I tried to turn down and check up, and wasn't enough, and got a piece of him. So, definitely hurt a little bit, but I think more than anything, I used that right front tire up trying to pass the 3 cars at that point, just trying to get back up to the lead. I had nothing after that, so that's all I could do.
Yeah, you were back there, and we were talking about it. He's got to get from. We're talking guys like Harden and Goodman, the guys you had to get around, and Herzog as well. You had to get that done because Tiernan was running the way. You got it done, but you had nothing left for Tiernan at the end. All things considered, I guess third place, considering you were 2 laps down at one point, you got to be kind of pleased with a podium finish.
Yeah, I'm glad with the comeback for sure. To be able to recover like that in a race that went mostly green was good to be able to do that. Just to show that you can when you need to. Very frustrated with how I got back there to begin with. 1 or 2 guys are being very aggressive around me lately, and not really sure why. But just if you got to remember and be more aggressive back to them, I guess I got to get some respect back somehow, Sue.
Well, let's turn to the future 24 hours. We're going to see you tomorrow night. You have won yourself 6 consecutive wins on the late model event, 7 in a row tomorrow night. What do you think?
That's tough to do, especially in the late models. It's hard to pass. Tire wear comes into play, especially at a place like South Boston, and the thing that's going to be the biggest issue is no fast repairs on a very tight short track. So we didn't have a whole lot of crazy incidents tonight, but those late models, they tend to cause incidences on the corner exit as you're coming onto the straightaway, and there's just nowhere to go when that happens. So it's going to require a lot of luck, but we're going to give it a try.
We're glad you be there. VGN will be there to bring it to you. Good luck tomorrow night, JR.
Yep, thank you, Sue. Appreciate it.
J.R. Shepard, third place finisher here tonight. You know, this broadcast is brought to you thanks to Whiteriver LLC. They were founded in 2016. Now, Whiteriver, they provide global security, not just like in your city or your state or in your continent, but global security. That doesn't include Mars now, okay? You're on your own if you're going to be off planet. For consulting services to industry, government, and academia, the firm specializes in e-commerce and what we care about here on VGN, esports-related security strategies to organizations of all sizes. If you like what you saw tonight, hey, join us again next week. Now, DJ won't be here because he's doing something, I don't know, he's going to like Road America to broadcast real world racing. Oh, jeez. But somebody will be here. I'll be here. You'll be here. It's next week. It's going to be round 8, Friday night, August 18th at 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:10 Pacific Time, 2:10 if you live on the islands. But before then, it's going to be tomorrow night. We just talked about it with J.R. Shepard, South Boston again. That's going to be round 7 as he tries for the elusive perfect season. Never been done, baby. Come and watch it. It's going to be tomorrow night, August 12th at 8:55 p.m. Eastern. You can do the math depending on your location wherever you are. These upcoming broadcasts and this broadcast and all the past broadcasts have been, will be, and has been a production of the Virtual Grip Network. With that done, we hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you didn't, we'll try to do better next time. With that said, we're going to put a padlock on the gate. Until next time, have fun storming the castle.